Thanks for joining me for this first virtual lesson we've got here. I wanted to start us off with our present tense ER verb conjugations, which hopefully are review for most of you. So we're going to take a look at this doc here. It'll also be posted on Google Classroom as a material under present tense. So you'll have it all there for you whenever you're ready to take another look at it. If this video doesn't quite do it for you, or if you need a refresher, your endings here and conjugations will also be in your first worksheet that you have, and it will be attached to this lesson as well. So without further ado, let's take a look at present tense. Present tense is going to be, again, talking about things that are happening right now. So we've already talked about things that have happened in the past as we started with our Black History projects and our Black Hero projects, pardon me. So now we're talking about things that are happening right now. So currently in the world, currently going on. So for example, if I was going to talk about the fact that I am speaking or I speak to somebody, that is how I would say je parle avec vous, right? So I'm talking with you right now, virtually. So that is what present tense is. It's not I have spoken, it's not I will speak, it's I am speaking. I'm currently doing this one thing right now. So if we take a look at present tense here, our ER verb conjugations, really we can take a look at any ER verb that we'd like. So let's name off a few popular ones. I know are not able to name them off with me right now. However, I'm happy to provide you with a few popular ones that usually come up in our work. So for example, we have parler. That's a great one. And it will be easy to go forth with. So let's start with parler. Parler is going to be our starter verb for us to use. So moving forward, what we're going to do is we're first and foremost going to take a look at the endings that we need. A lot of these are made into songs for you in elementary school, so hopefully they are things that are just review for you once again, or things that can stick for you really quickly. So again, we always have to have our subjects written down. So we're going to have je, tu, il, elle/on, nous, vous, and then il and elle pluriel. I'm going to just double space this so it's nice and clear for everybody. So when we have these endings here, what we are actually going to do is, once again, we remove the last two letters. So that's always how that works. We remove the final two letters. So let me see if I can draw a little line through them. I'm not even going to attempt this, but we're going to remove the last two letters. So these ones get totally taken out. Those ones get right taken out. They get a strike right through them. Oh, so sorry. Parfait. So those ones get their little strike right through them. Okay? So we take those two letters out and we replace them with the following. So je has E, tu, es, il, elle, and on, I, nous, ons, vous, iz, and il and elle, ent. So if you have a little limerick or a little song that goes along with this, that would be great. I'm happy to find one for you on YouTube and post that for you along with this lesson. Or we can remember it from our sayings here, E-E-S-E, O-N-S-E-Z-E-N-T, or E-E-S-E, O-N-S-E-Z-E-N-T, stuff like that. So this is our pattern for ER verb conjugations in the present tense. These are always going to be the same. They don't change. You don't need two verbs this time. We're simplifying it even further than what we've already learned. So it's just the one verb that we use. So let's give ourselves an example. And let's say we are going to talk about yourself, about je. So we're going to say here, je, then you want to include parler, but what do we now do to parler to make it reflective of je? We are just going to take off the E, so then it becomes je, or sorry, the R, and then it just becomes je parle. That's it. If we do the same for tu parler, it becomes tu parles with an es, because that is what our ending is here for tu es, so parle. So you take off the er of parler and you replace it with the es that's now focused on tu, which is what we've been doing for this particular sentence here. let's keep going. Let's say we had il. He is talking to somebody. Il, we take a look at, okay, il is part of this triplet here. And our new ending, after we take off the ER, is going to be just E. So, il parle. There you go. We can do the same thing for elle and on. Same idea. These are also part of this triplet right there. Elle parle. And same thing with on. On is like saying one speaks, right? One is speaking. Or one talks. So, on parle. Same idea. Still part of this triplet. Still focuses along with this double or the ending of just the E. So we take off the ER and replace it with just an E. Now let's continue. So we're going to go on with nous. Nous turns into nous. We take off the ER at the end and replace it with ONS. Vous, same idea. You take off the ER at the end and replace it with EZ. And then for il and elle pluriel, same idea. You take off the ER at the end and you replace it now with ENT. And same thing with girls, with elle, all girls. Elle parle. Okay, remember, even if there's only one male in the group, it turns into il. It can be 10 girls and 1 boy, and it's still going to be il parle. Elle is only for all females, multiple females, okay? So that is essentially that lesson. It's very simple. You're only taking off the ER, same as what we did in passé composé. You're taking off the ER ending and replacing it with these new endings here, okay? I'm actually going to turn this into 2 columns so that it's easier to look through. There we go. So those are our endings there. I will bold them for you as well. Well, it changes the format a little bit, but that's okay. Great. The only verb that will give us a little bit of hassle for one particular conjugation is manger. Remember, I think we talked about this towards the beginning of the year. Manger, even though it's spelled with a G, so let's put it on this side here. Even though manger is spelled with a G, this is going to be our new verb of focus here. If we don't keep the E when we don't have an E at the end, so for example, with an ONS ending for nous, it becomes mangon, which is a very different word and very different sound. So we have to keep that soft G to make the je sound, manger, by keeping the E there. So this won't be a problem for anything else because we have E's at the beginning of every other conjugation. So when we replace the ER, we still have an E there that follows the G. The only one that this will affect is mangeons, nous mangeons. So let's go through that conjugation and let's do it together. So if we have je mange again, that's going to be our focus. It becomes je mange. So you take off the ER and you replace it with just the E. Sorry, E. Same thing for tu. Tu manges. Oops. Tu manges. Tu, M-A-N-G. You take off the ER. We're taking off these guys right here. Oops. Taking these guys off. And we're replacing it with our E-S ending here. E-S. Tu manges. Same thing with il. He eats. Il mange. M-A-N-G. We figure out what our ending is here. It's an E. We just add that on. And that's the same ending for elle and on. So elle mange and on mange. Same idea. This is the one where it gets a little bit tricky because we don't have the E at the end of our ONS here. We don't have an extra E there at the beginning. So we have to keep the E in this case. So it becomes nous. We're talking about nous and we're eating something. We eat something. We eat. You want to say nous mange. But if we leave it as mangon, that's incorrect because it's mangon. It's not mange anymore. So what we have to do is we have to keep. It's already wanting to correct me in Google in autocorrect here. So we have to keep that E there. We have to keep the E in mangeant. Okay, so for this particular verb, we have to keep the E before the EONS, and this is the only time that we'll see this. So it's still a regular verb because it still follows the rest of these endings, and even here it still includes that ONS ending. However, we have to keep the E there between the G and the ONS, so we don't have mangeant and we have mangeant. Okay? For everything else, again, it stays absolutely the same. Vous turns into vous. Mange, we take off the ER and we replace it with an EZ. And then for il and elle, pluriel, same idea. Il mange, take off the ER, placing it with ENT. And same thing for elle. Elle mange. Okay? Excellent. So there you have it. You're going to find yourselves a worksheet that's attached to this lesson. So please go ahead and complete that. It'll be due by the end of today. So this is Tuesday, April 7th. This is our first lesson on ER present tense verbs. Tomorrow we're going to look at IR present tense verbs. These are all going to be regular verbs. We haven't touched irregular just yet, and we're going to leave that until next week. So we're just doing regular endings, just learning these endings, and I'm hoping that these are review for all of you. And I'll take a look at your work too to make sure that we're understanding, and we may need a refresher lesson as well tomorrow for tomorrow's video. So I'll make sure to include that in there as well. I'm also going to put this document up as a material for you in Google Classroom. So again, you can keep looking at it because it'll keep being refreshed with every lesson that we do. I'll keep all the present tense lessons in this one document so that you can review it as you need to if the verbal and the Loom video isn't quite doing it for you. Okay, I hope that this has made sense for everybody, and thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Awesome. Enjoy your day, everybody. See you later.